E for eMoneyWizard.com and MarketWizards.com, reminding traders to use risk capital you can afford to lose. All right, we're just into the second hour of trading. We said today the possibility exists that this was a nonsense move, but you don't know until hindsight for sure. But 10 to 12 and a half we're using for aggressive resistance. Make sure you were paid on the upside, 02s, 06. And then obviously the 10 and a half, be very careful because that chart we showed. I suggested yesterday, last night, this retest in here needed to be careful about that as potential support. I also suggested possibility we take out both sides of the overnight range today. So I'm looking at this right now as trap longs. And first things first, break the low, and then the marginal low is going to tackle that 68 area. And then obviously we're going to use that 63, 62 and a half as our support for now until broken. And we're looking at this proportion. We're looking at this breakout in here yesterday. This is where the true breakout came from, right there. You can see it. Here's 1, 2, 3, bang. This was the nonsense move. That's what I told you this morning. Be very careful buying high, selling higher. We looked at this morning, if you'll recall. And we said, careful about this. This is the middle of this swing right here. Where's my 2-day? And just below us, 65s. This is the middle of the 2-day swing. And I said, sometimes what they'll do is they'll come back, they can't make a lot of progress, so they'll come back, swing it back, and then try to pick up some shorts and then squeeze them back. For now, all we know is anybody that's had a good run, paid for sure. Here's our predictive model. We had suggested this box was our resistance box. And we get back in under the 95s. Still don't know a lot, other than we're retracing. Then the 75, we said make sure you get paid by 75s. That's the top of this box. And now we are in this box. So this is a 3-box move, not complete, but we know that this box is our support box for now. And my suggestion, based on the 2-day range that I just showed you, paid for sure. And anybody that had an inkling to either hold or jump in to try to break it and get a killer trade coming into the middle of a 2-day swing. This was the line that we had on here showing a retest of the breakout. Go back and look at that post I made last night where I thought key support ideas may come in. So far, inside that range, educated guess, nothing more. Melissa, thank you. Great post. IB high from yesterday. And we do track that. We do try to keep track of those ideas. Now, I said it's hard to get through all two at once and then the third one. When we do, we want to take a look at the green and the red lines as well on a bounce back because they're going to control this. And either we get like what we had yesterday, which is over and over, or we get a directional type move that starts. If we get a directional move that keeps on coming, then that is what Zeke has affectionately named the wrecking ball trade. And sometimes we'll get it up a little bit higher and then we come back through and it's a real smack 'em trade. So this, in my opinion, has to have damaged some of the hopes and beliefs and desires of the aggressive longs today because it's a more neutral type trade. Certainly not bearish. You know, we're still well above yesterday's low. We take out yesterday's low. That's another story. And first things first, we got to go step by step. You got to come back and retest the breakout. If we get underneath that, then you got to be looking at those lows in there, 65s to 62s. Then this low down here at 56. Back up in here. And then these lows down in here, that 48.50 area. Don't forget, that was the IB low of yesterday. So I'm not calling for a crash. This is a nice regression trade. And we need to see, obviously, what happens on rotations now. For those of you who are still not clear about rotations, they are basically small swings, and you can probably see them just as easily on a chart like this. Okay, so from here to here is a rotation. And then from here, from the top to that low is a rotation. And then this one is not a rotation because there's nothing until we get here. And then at 78s, we get that slight rotation. And then that continues. And then it comes over here. And then this is a rotation down to there. And now this is a rotation back. And based on this chart, we've got that middle at 88.5. So that's our current resistance right now. So that's what I mean by rotations for those of you who weren't quite understanding it. Because let's say you would like to get from 67.5 to, let's call it 62.5. Okay, say you want another 5 points. Well, from 67.5 back up to 80, you've given back 12.5 to get another 5. And that's why trading is hard, because you can't just call out a number and said, yeah, I did this. Because are you willing to give back 12 points to make another 5? And the math, is fairly clear as a day trader. No, you don't want to do that. You'd rather make sure you get paid, and then you're going to chase lower highs in a trend, right? You got to chase, so you can't wait till it comes back and gives you, hey, I want to short the 9.5, 8.5. Well, now it's not there. You got to short lower and lower and lower and lower. And then at one point you short too low, and then they get you. Like over here yesterday. Short, short. All right, I'm going to short again. Whoops. So we've come back and nicely retesting the breakout. This is a range type trade. And now if we don't take out the low, it's still going to be a range type day until we take out the high or the low. Already done the kinds of things we wanted to do. Got a substantial trade early in the day. Too cold to go play golf, but certainly if you took a short and had a trailer, you made out very well. Even if you only caught your 4 or 5 points, which is the game that we play, get your vig, you're already going to be conservative now. So I'm looking at this as that we've rejected so far last year's high, and now we are fighting about 75.25 this year's open. So this is the battle. Aggressive resistance 88. We've been making lower highs. So we're testing for support. This was influenced by the green line here. I'm still looking at this as fairly neutral. May be wrong, but I'm thinking right now this is fairly neutral. Because we're into the pipe. And first time back in here, you assume it's going to try to hold. 2-day range. Top of the pipe held. Came through the bottom of the pipe, predictive chart. Took the next level out, 75s, and now trying to hold the 65 area. And this is the box we said that we were in, the 69.5, 70 area. Our next fighting box. Range type trade for now. High is in probably for the morning, maybe even for the day. We don't know yet. Crazy news can come out. Low is in for now. I'm inclined to say if we go lower, it won't be a lot lower. You never know. But I sure don't want to be a stuck long, that's for sure. And this certainly will embolden the shorts. And we shall see where the longs ultimately dig in and start to get this moving. So made a lower high. And we also yesterday made a lower low, but bounce, undercut low, but rejected. So this swing chart, we're going to definitely keep an eye on because it worked so well. So this 83, 85 area going to be important. And this is the current box we're in, and this box was clearly rejected. And this box was clearly rejected, and so was this writing box. And don't read into any one day too much. You just can't. A range type trade, what we've got right now, and probably this chart will be helpful. And then we want to keep an eye on the original low. Just like we did up here. Stop run, got your shorts, we're going to squeeze, and then bang, got your longs too. Z pattern, right? Hope that helps.